Hi, my name is Brian Eiler. We're going to talk about where this Masonic journey leads. You've been made a Mason. As an entered apprentice, you can still help out within the lodge and get a lot of Masonic education by coming to the stated meetings and working with your mentor. As you progress through the different degrees, Fellowcraft and then Master Mason, you'll find that there's a lot of things that you can do that may involve your interest, even maybe outside of Masonry. We have a lot of appendant bodies. Let's take a moment to think about, what can I do as a Master Mason? How do I travel and work as a Master Mason? For example, say that you want to go to a lodge within the state of Indiana. Your dues card is your entrance. But if you want to visit a lodge in another state, or even in another country, what can I do? How do I visit that other lodge? The behavior? We need to contact the Grand Lodge. They'll provide the paperwork needed that will then send to the other Grand Lodge, and you'll be able to visit them. Visiting a lot of lodges can open doors for you as well. New cultures, new ways of doing things, and again, fellowship. In the state of Indiana, we have a lot of Masonic bodies, different appendant bodies and associated bodies. John, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about some of these organizations.
Thanks, Brian. I'm John Bridegroom, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the appendant bodies available in Freemasonry. There's a vast array of Masonic organizations available to the Master Mason, but the three primary appendant bodies are the York Rite, the Scottish Rite, and Shriners International. The York Rite is actually comprised of three separate bodies, known as a Chapter of Royal Archmasons, a Council of Cryptic Masons, and a Commandery of Knights Templar. Within this rite, there are 10 degrees or orders, and they culminate with the candidate becoming a Knight Templar, which is a distinctly Christian order. York Rites meet across the state in local lodges, and the experience is very much like your experience in your craft lodge, where the candidate is part of the degree, and it's an experiential order. The Scottish Rite contains 29 degrees, which are actually broken up into 4 internal bodies, which are known as the Lodge of Perfection, the Council of the Princes of Jerusalem, a Chapter of Rose Croix, and the Consistory. The experience in the Scottish Rite is different than that of the York Rite, in that the Scottish Rite meets in valleys, of which there are only 6 in the state of Indiana. And rather than participating in the degrees, the candidates witness the degrees being portrayed as a theatrical, dramatic presentation. It's important to note that these two rites are not at odds with each other, but actually are both wonderful complements to craft Freemasonry. The third organization is Shriners International. The Shriners was created as a place for fun and fellowship for Master Masons, and it was styled after the magic and mystery which was all the rage around the turn of the 19th century. There are plenty of opportunities in the shrine for fun and enjoying your fellow brethren, with social gatherings, family events, parades, and even the units within the shrine are geared towards hobbies and fun activities. But even though the purpose of the shrine was fun and fellowship, shortly after their development arose a need for a purpose. And what ended up happening was the Shriners created the Shriners Hospitals for Children. And this became the mission of Shriners going forward. And at its peak grew into 22 children's hospitals across North America. In all of the years of Shriners Hospitals for Children, they have never charged the families for the care that they provide. As a result, Shriners International has become one of the best ways for a Master Mason to fulfill his Masonic obligation of charity. Now, there are plenty of other organizations that are available to Master Masons. There's the National Sojourners, which is an organization for veterans. There's the Grotto. There's the organizations which involve Our Ladies, such as the Order of the Eastern Star and the Order of Amaranth. And you even have the opportunity to become an adult leader in some of the youth groups, such as Job's Daughters, Rainbow Girls, and the Order of Demolay. But you don't have to go into all of these other organizations to find further light as a Freemason. there's plenty of opportunities to find that back in your home lodge. Brian?
Thanks, John, for that really enlightening information about all of the different Masonic bodies. I'm sure you'll also agree that there's a lot of things that you can do in Masonry that apply to a lot of different interests. In addition to these other appendant bodies, you can also visit other lodges, help them perform degree work, and maybe just get to know more brothers. But you don't have to go far in order to find things to do. Your own lodge can serve as a great, learning ground. You can learn the ritual and become part of the cast. You could join the officer line or provide the biggest benefit, giving back to the fraternity by paying it forward with a new brother, mentoring him in his journey. You'll also find that, over the years, your interest may change. The nice part is that the fraternity is moving with you. As you saw what John mentioned about the multitude of organizations and even the jobs within your lodge, we have a lot of things to offer. And as your skills change and your interests vary, the fraternity evolves with you. Remember that our lifelong relationships are formed in shared experiences that are really happening because we get involved, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Trust me. I hope you enjoy your journey in Freemasonry.